just to make sure it is actually live. I believe it is, so. Stream. Oh, that's very nice of you to say. I'm a bit tired. I got a whole heap of trivia from Mr. Dougie Falcons, my Martin Brundle, and it wore me out last night, so I slept in a lot. Then I heard that somebody needed to fill in for today's preseason testing here at the Red Bull Rings, and that's alright. I'm quite happy to fill in. I'm a bit tired, but I'm quite happy to be here. Oh no, it's not. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning, but I just slept in a lot, so I'm a bit tired. But I should be okay. Yep, that's Well, the Austrian circuit, it's a very nice place to go testing. There's a nice combination of medium, high speed and low speed corners throughout this circuit. Even though there's only 10 turns, there's still quite a nice combination. And coming after another good track for testing, Silverstone, it should provide us with a good idea of what each driver's pace is around these particular corners, just to give us an idea of who's quick where. Who's good throughout the fast sections, who's good under brakes and whatnot. The circuit itself, though very simplistic, it does provide quite a great amount of challenges. There's some nice overtaking opportunities as well, coming after turn 1, turn 3 and turn 4 after long DRS zones. And so we should be getting a good amount of information for this for the league, just to see which driver is where in terms of the championship, in terms of raw speed. But we'll just have to wait and see, I think. There we go, not a bad time at all. Mm-hmm. Oh, let's see. Do. So who was the fastest in the first preseason tests at Silverstone? Hang on. Just noticed in the live chat, someone's saying that their mic is muted. Apparently. Oh, apparently you don't have your share audio on. If you go into party chat, you should be on always allow. Is it on always allow? Okay.
Am I on now?
We'll have to wait and see. I haven't looked at the stream quite just yet. I'll look at it now. That's all right. That's all that pre-season testing is about, just to make sure.
Yeah. Sorry about that, folks. But yeah, if you're tuning in, welcome along to Dynamic Nights Esports. Right now, your current pulsar is now BRT Fast 1042. Goes 2 tenths faster than Flip Flop Fish.
Right on. Okay, people are saying they can hear you now, so it's all good. Everything's fine now.
All right. Thank you, guys. Sorry about that. A little technical difficulties, but we're good. So, anyways, there were some other drivers that came across. John Neves goes 12th fastest. Kono J. Loft goes 13th fastest, and Fallen Monkeys 14th fastest. So now we've had only 2 drivers that came across the line, only in the 104s, and that's Flip Flop Fish and Fast. Now, Fast and Flip Flop Fish were separated by 4 tenths in last week's qualifying session. This time, only separated by 2 tenths.
Well, we can't jump the gun too early. We've still got plenty of time left in the session, and this being an incredibly small circuit as well, they can get a lot of laps in, so we might see that gap come down quite a bit towards the end, particularly when the track evolves and it starts to grip up. We might see drivers crack into the 1-minute 3s around here, which is possible for drivers that have an exceptional amount of skill. And it's also interesting to see that some drivers are also qualifying on the medium tyre to begin with, perhaps to just get their eye in. It's very much a soft to medium circuit here at Austria. Tyre wear is pretty much non-existent at this place. So I would imagine a lot of the drivers, particularly towards the front, will start on the soft tyre. I'm not sure if anyone will just try to go and start on the medium tyre. I don't think anyone would do that. But we'll have to wait and see.
No, I mean, I don't think it's necessary to do that, because you just basically, like you said, no tire wear whatsoever. You could probably go, I would say, about maybe 12, 13 laps, I want to say, on the softs, but you can run the rest of the way on the mediums. I think we have only, I think it's a 38 or 39 lap race, so that basically would give us a good idea in terms of, like, you know, where they would, you know, have in terms of the tire wear, but I don't think it will be that bad at all.
Okay, here comes Saw Shun over the line. He goes to P12. Okay, 1 minute 6.3. Okay, so I'm starting to get an idea of who's supposed to be where. Now flip-flop Fish on the flyer.
Yeah, but like you said, it's still a little early. We have, like, huge block up there from Flip-Flop Fish. But like you said, we do have we have plenty of time to observe. It's only about 9.5 minutes left in the session. Flip-Flop Fish does go a little bit faster, nearly a tenth faster, but still not enough to get by fast.
Let's see. It's the
Schwanen. I think there's a Racing Point? Okay, never mind. They're both on flyers. But I don't know if RG3 Darkness was aware. I think he might have impeded his lap, because they were really close to each other at the start-finish line.
Got a whole heap of slow traffic within Sector 1. That's all right. So RT Darkness in the Renault. At the moment, the Renault's first and last at the moment, but I'm sure that will change quite quickly. As oh, see you, Dougie.
Hi, Dougie.
Oh well. There goes Martin Brundle and his grid walk, but oh well, that's alright. So, because of the complications with the audio, who did you say was going to be, who was fastest at Silverstone?
So I said it was Flip Flop Fish. He did a 126.1. He was 4/10 faster than BRT Fast, who was second quickest in that session.
Okay.
There's quite a lot of traffic I see in the third sector. A lot of cars all bunched up.
Yeah, it's absolutely mad through there. Toro Rosso just pulling off to the grass, making sure he doesn't impede anyone. It's very nice to see as Sequit has left the session.
So Useless Cat just went third fastest. He goes 104.8 in the Red Bull. And I guess we didn't catch the other ones, but Swarner went fourth fastest, bumps Breezy down to fifth, and his teammate Snipperpig into sixth.
Well, it's quite an exceptional gap between third and second place, almost half a second separating the two. Excuse me, on a track that only has 10 corners, 5/10 is absolutely massive. So, at the moment, it's quite clearly a two-horse race, but I'm sure a couple of drivers will be able to set some really representative lap times to try and get back up towards the top two. Let's see.
Oh, what has happened with not Fast, but Darkness? Oh, we had a collision with Knight in the third sector. He just got 5-place grid penalty for beating his lap.
And there's Knight right in front of him, going awfully slowly into the pit lane. Now,
let's see what Kono does on his flyer. Oh wait, he actually did not set a lap. Never mind. Okay, so Fast went to the pits. I'm guessing he must have invalidated his lap time. Let's check on another racing point. I think that's Snipperpig. And Snipperpig goes fourth fastest, 104.7.
Not a bad lap time from the racing point, as Lopez as well is getting himself up towards the top two. A 104.586 puts him P3, and it's a bit better. It's a bit closer between second and third place, or second and the rest of the field. Gap coming down to 0.2 of a second. And it's interesting to see that Flip Flop Fish is actually on the medium tyre, about to set a flying lap. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to beat his own time on a set of mediums, but we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
I mean, I don't think he could, really, because he's probably going to set maybe someone in the 105, I'm going to say, unless he puts him in a miraculous lap. Because you can put because with with Austria being, a 2.7 mile circuit with the shortest in the F1 calendar, it's possibly anything could happen, I would say, in terms of your lap time. But I don't think he's going to improve with a medium tire. Maybe he just wants to see how he goes with the medium tire for one lap to get an idea of what he'll run, how he'll go on for the rest of the race.
Maybe.
But that's my guess.
But he's pushing pretty hard on this lap, I have to say. Now, he's coming through the final two corners, turns 9 and 10, comes through the final corner, comes over the curb and abuses the outside curb a lot. It's a 105 flat, 0.7 of a second off.
So, kind of what I expected. But still a good lap, though, on the mediums.
Let's see.
Well, the thing is, I thought Honos was going to do a lap, but I guess he must have invalidated because he was right behind Flip Flop Fish. Looks like we have a Mercedes doing the flyer.
Yeah, ISRL Carter in the Mercedes. He just beat his time, but not by a great deal. Not enough to jump up into PA.
No, but he's currently top 5, so he's doing pretty good. Let's say. Let's see what his teammate can do. ISRL Knight. He's in the soft tires now. I think there's a Toro Rosso coming towards the line. I think. Yeah, that's Fallen Monkeys.
Monkeys. Yeah.
His lap. Now the thing is, we know, you kind of know these drivers really well, probably as well as I do. They come from a different variety of leagues. Some are from WSR, Worldwide Sim Racing, TCR, Trinity Competitive Racing, and even some from RaceSpec too. And these are like the best. To me, these are like the best of the best that I've seen in this from any of those leagues, except for the ISRL guys. These are the only guys I haven't observed yet.
Yeah, there's definitely some fellas that I do know. I know Fass very well from RaceSpec Esports, as I'm a fill-in commentator for that championship. He's one of the championship contenders and an exceptionally quick Brazilian. I know Lopez from TCR, a very fast and competitive driver. I know Schwarner from the same league in the Ferrari. He's also an incredibly quick and also quite a knowledgeable racing driver. I did a commentary stint with him at Hungary. It was a pre-season test, and yeah, he knew a lot about the circuit, knew where to cut, knew where to brake, and knew when to push, because I believe he doesn't use traction control or ABS, so it was great insight into how a driver conducts themselves around the circuit without any assist. And at the moment he's doing a fairly good job in P8. I'm sure he'll be able to find a few more positions and climb up the leaderboard. But yeah, there's some familiar names, and I know roughly where they should be. It's just some of the other drivers and how they fit in to the championship.
So meanwhile, while you were talking about that, Eustace Cat went 5th or 4th fastest, and then RSL 9 went 8th fastest, and I think Breezy just went 4th fastest just now. So the gap between the top 9 is separated by 7/10 altogether.
Very, very close at the moment between these guys. It's good to see as well that we have fairly competitive field as Sniper Pig jumps up to 4th place, overtaking his teammate by 0.02 of a second. So it's very, very close between the Racing Point drivers here at Austria.
And of course, Snipper Pig and Breezy are other drivers I know very personally. They race in the United Drivers League, and Snipper Pig is actually the reigning United Drivers League champion right now. He actually is the current points leader in the UDL as well. And he's mostly he's fast in qualifying, but in the racing, I would say he's very consistent. Breezy, I say he's very fast, but he's mostly strategical. Snipper is a bit the same way too. So they have a bit of a same mindset as well when it comes to F1, which is something you need as well when it comes to like pitch strategy.
Yeah.
And they execute it very flawlessly too, and also know and are aware of what's going on in terms of battles. I like to say if Snipper's in first and there's battles going on right behind him, he knows when to break away from them because he has the pace to do it. So now we're going to the 15-second mark of qualifying, and Fastest is looking like to be your pole sitter, and Lopez and Flip-Flop Fish will round off the top 3, and Snipper Pig and Breezy in the racing points will look like to be in the top 5 unless Snipper Pig does a good lap with the... I don't know if he's doing... Is that a new set? Yeah, he's doing a new set of soft tires.
Now, I've got to prompt that the session is over. I'm sure it is, and I'm sure there's actually a minute left in the session, because there's certain drivers on an out lap that shouldn't be able to get a qualifying lap in, but they will, because, yeah, there's a nice little minute glitch in this game where the qualifying session ends a minute too early. In comparison to the rest of the lobby as a spectator. So these guys are able to get one extra lap in. Let's see. Lopez. So the first of the top 3 will be Flip-Flop Fish. That's going to trip me up day in, day out saying that name. He's coming out of the second sector. He hasn't improved his time though. He's only 1/100th of a second down on his time. Oh, and into the wall as well. He wasn't happy with that. Yeah, he drove straight on.
I didn't honestly catch that. I was looking at Kono J-Loft. Oh, now I could see it from Shaw's point of view. Yeah, he crashed in the chicane. Oh, someone else crashed into the wall as well. It's a McLaren, I think. I think that's Kono. Yeah, it is. Well, let's see what his teammate does.
Oh, and Fast also into the wall. Oh, dearie me. Some of these guys get really angry when they invalidate their time. Fast was looking to improve his lap, but he invalidated, I think, coming through the final corner, resulting in him not improving his time. But he still gets pole position here at the preseason testing at the Red Bull Ring. So Fast P1, Lopez P2 with flip-flop fish. Gets it in your head. Flip-flop fish in P3 with Snipper Pig, P4 and Breezy rounding out the top 5. That name is going to haunt my bloody dreams, is that name? Gotta love it.
You should tell that to Flip Flop Fish how you feel about the name.
I am very critical about the name. Very critical.
Very opinionated, that's for sure. Alright, so rounding off the grid, BRT Fast is your pole sitter, Lopez Mateus in second, Flip Flop Fish in third, Super Big in fourth, X Breezy in fifth, Useless as a Cat at sixth, Shawsome in seventh, ISRL Knight in eighth, Swarner in ninth, Onos in 10th, ISRL Carter in 11th, Hyde Beast in 12th, Kono J-Loft in 13th, WSR UCB Flying in 14th, RT Darkness in 15th, but he will start last because he got a 5-place grid penalty for impeding driver's lap. Fallen Monkeys in 16th, John Neves in 17th, and ISRL S-Tunic in 18th. Actually, I forgot. It's not 20 because we don't have a full grid yet, but it's not 18 yet. Drivers.
We're pretty close to a full grid, so not too worry. And also, Knight has a 5 grid place penalty he has to serve as well, so he won't be starting in 8th place. He'll be starting from 13th on the grid. But he'll still have to start on the soft tyre because he qualified within the top 10. He doesn't get a free choice of tyre. So.
Yeah, because if you finish below that, you have a free choice.
Yep.
Alright, so it looks like it's going to be a cloudy race, so probably no chance of rain. Unless it'll happen later in the race, but from the way it looks, I don't think so.
You never know with this game. It tends to spice it up here and there with useless information given to the drivers. That's one thing that I think Cody's really need to improve is how they deliver information to the drivers, because I don't think in Formula 1, in real life Formula 1, they give weather details to the drivers with 4 useless logos on a screen. I think they wouldn't do that in 15-minute segments. I think they would go into great detail of when the rain is going to start, if there is going to be any sort of rain, instead of just 4 useless logos that tend to be not correct sometimes. So, you know, it's something that Codemasters will probably need to look into, I think, for F1 2020. But knowing Codemasters, they'll probably just ignore it and just keep it as is, I think. You know, let the drivers just deal with it.
Codemasters does have a tendency to sprinkle the little magic of BS. But we do have another driver that did just appear. It is X-Bomb Tree. He will be starting 19th in the Williams. So we have one driver short of a full grid.
So not a bad showing for a pre-season test. Will give us a good idea of who's where. A genuinely good idea.
I would say much better improvement than last week, I'd say. So BRT Fast is your pole sitter, and Lopez Mateus in second, Flip Flop Fish in third, Snipper Pig in fourth, X Breezy in fifth, Useless as a Cat in sixth, Shawsome in 7th, Swarner in 8th, Honos in 9th, Carter in 10th, Hyde Beast in 11th, Kono J-Loft in 12th, ISRL Knight in 13th. Like you said, he did have to get a 5-place grid penalty. WSR UCB Flying in 14th, Fallen Monkeys in 15th, John Neves in 16th, ISRL S-Tunic in 17th, RT Darkness in 18th, who also has a 5-place grid penalty, and X-Bomb Tree round off the grid.
Rightio. And also, just to note, Astunic, Neves, Monkeys, Conor J. Loft, and Carter are all the drivers starting on the medium tyre. Everyone else is starting on the softs. Now, that's not lights out, not quite just yet.
That's not lights out and away we go.
Not yet. And it's lights out apparently, and away we go here at the Red Bull Ring. And that's an exceptional start from the Ferrari. Can he hold it?
Though.
No, he can't.
He does, just slightly. But Fast gets a really good start off turn 1. Lopez, though, followed behind him in second, and Snipperpig moves up into third, gained by Flip Flop Fish after turn 1. Flip Flop Fish, oh my goodness, he goes outside, goes way too deep. That allows Snipperpig's teammate Breezy to come in there and get 4th place.
Oh, driver's going very wide at the exit of turn 3, losing a lot of positions. There's some side-by-side action here between the McLaren and Red Bull of John Neves down the inside.
And also with RSL, it's so cool. And also with ISL 9, as you see me flying, they were side by side for a moment there. Breezy and Flip Flop Fish are still side by side. Oh my goodness!
Ooh,
Flip Flop Fish just got inside. He kind of chopped his nose a little bit there at the end of turn 7, but he gets away with it and gets in 4th place. So pretty much now Fast is your lace here, separated now by at least nearly half a second, now half a second, and Lee gets the fastest lap of the race. Of course, that's what happens if you do get the fastest lap. Swarner is in the pit, and he's retired already.
I was going to mention he's got a broken front wing from some incident on lap 1. I think it was somewhere in the second. He got his front wing broken, and it's a bit, I have to say, it's a bit premature to just retire from the session 1 lap into the Grand Prix, but I guess there's no championship implications at this stage, so...
Right, and also Astudic and John Neves went to the pits as well. They might have some incidences as well.
At the moment, Fast leading the way, almost has a 1 second margin to Lopez, who in turn almost has a 1 second margin back to Snipperpig. That's one thing that these top drivers really have to try and do on these first couple of laps, is opened up a 1 second margin to the cars behind, because the DRS at this circuit is exceptionally overpowered, as Fast has a massive lockup at the final corner. If they can break themselves out of the tow, they put themselves into a really good position to just walk away with the race. But if the driver behind can stay within that 1 second like Lopez is doing, he keeps himself within the fight.
Yeah, we just got DRS here. I mean, the thing is that DRS zone right there after turn 1 is probably the most powerful out of any in this circuit, though, because it's longer and you get a better slipstream if you are within that half a second. Not really over that, because I feel like you won't get the chance to overtake the car once you get towards turn 3 if you have the slipstream. But Fast also has another lockup out of turn 4, but him and Lopez, though, have separated themselves from Snipperpig and the rest of the field from 3rd and 4th, and Flip Flop Fish is on the outside of Snipperpig.
Oh, turns him!
Goodness.
He's turned him!
Contact.
Oh,
he
my
turned
word!
him! He turned him!
Oh my goodness me!
Flip Flop Fish in turn 5, at the end of turn 5.
And in turn, Flip Flop Fish drops down from P3 effectively all the way down to P12. Very much in the mid pack. Oh, and Bomb Tree almost sees an opportunity. Oh, but his tyres are all over the place, Flip Flop Fish. Those tyres are absolutely destroyed.
Meanwhile, Snipper's teammate just got Breezy just got a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. But the battle's getting closer, though, as Lopez seems to have a better pace than Fast, it looks like. He just set a purple first sector out of that DRS zone there, the second DRS zone. But I don't think he's got enough to get him just quite yet, though. Even though they're down by, he's down by at least 3/10. He's still got, I think he's got better pace than Fast does right now.
It's just showing the sheer power of the DRS, it seems, between those two. But we'll see what Fast can do. Fast, at the moment, spending a bit of ERS just to try and keep ahead of the Ferrari driver. Coming through the final 2 corners, it's pretty critical for Fast to get a good run out of the final turn, so then you can really maximise the straight line speed. And at the moment, it's sort of fluctuating, the gap between first and second. It's sort of fluctuating between 0.3 to 0.6 of a second. So it seems to me that Fast might actually have better car speed, but because of the power of DRS, it's keeping Lopez very much in the fight for the win here. We'll have to wait and see how he conducts himself, though.
But you could tell, though, that Lopez, even though he doesn't have the slipstream to get quite yet, you could see on the telemetry that he's been saving a little bit more ERS than Fast has. And the battle for third now between X Breezy and the Red Bull of Useless is a Cat into turn 5. Wheel to wheel out of turn 5, and looks like Useless is a Cat has a far better advantage, and he does have a better advantage.
Very nice.
And goes into third place. Good move there by the Red Bull.
Exceptional move, using a lot of confidence in the car there to do that around the outside.
Whoa, Breezy just went completely wide there out of turn 9 there.
Well, these guys, this might be a pre-season test, but these guys are pushing pretty damn hard at the moment. Connor gets a 3-second time penalty, and I think Lopez is going to line up a move here into turn 3. DRS open. No, he won't.
Close. No, he won't. He stays right behind Fast. Fast is just trying to stay as defensive as possible, it looks like. The thing is, though, that corner is really hard to defend the inside line, because you get a better run, really, when you have the inside line. I mean, we kind of saw that with how Max Verstappen worked his way up to Charles Leclerc last year in Austria. And I feel like that's also in this game as well, that inside of turn 3 is the most powerful area, I would say. But Fast is all over the place as I speak. He was like locking up the brakes, and he kept going wide and he went into the grass at one point as well. So he's under pressure from this Ferrari of Lopez, and he locks up again at the end of turn 10 as well. So now Lopez will have a better slipstream into the DRS, but he will stay behind him because there's no way you're going to try to get that pass down in Loudest Curve. It's too risky.
Lopez!
Oh my word! Mistake there.
Right, I was going to congratulate Lopez because he's playing a really nice game here. He's putting a lot of pressure under Fast, and he's just saving his ERS. He's putting it in his back pocket for later. But yet, he really doesn't need to make a mistake like that. He needs to stay within the toe for him to really capitalize on his current position. That was very close.
Breezy just overtook Useless Cat in the second DRS zone, and he just got up into third place at the end of turn 3. So it looks like we're going to have a bit of battle between this Racing Point and the Red Bull. It seems like these two just really are in line and pace for the podium spot, the final podium spot at least. Where's Breezy's teammate, Sniffer Pig? He's down at 6th right now, but if you remember, he's down at 6th. If you remember, if you just tuned in, it was because of the contact he made with Flip Flop Fish. And Flip Flop Fish, speaking of him, he's all the way down into 10th place, but he's starting to gain a little bit, though. It's not too much separation between, it looks like from 8th to 11th, as Flip Flop Fish has a better run out of the front straightaway, now goes on the inside of ISRL Carter and does make the move done.
And Honox, that was so close to losing it there, the Alfa Romeo driver. So close to losing it.
Yeah, I saw that. He was squirrely out of the end of the Loudest Curve. That Loudest Curve is somewhere you can like lose the back end pretty easily and also get a penalty for corner penalty easily as well. And Honos has the DRS slipstream on ISL 9 wheel to wheel at the end of turn 4. I think they're still side by side. Yes, they are. But Honos got the far better advantage, and now he's up into 7th. Useless as a Cat and X Breezy.
They're going side by side everywhere, these two. Breezy and Useless as a Cat. They were side by side everywhere in that second sector. Absolutely unbelievable. But
it's incredible battles we have been seeing so far in this Austria race. Breezy, I think, made a slight mistake there. Did not get a great exit out of the final turn there, so that allowed Useless as a Cat to get a fair advantage. And I think Flip-Flop Fish just went to the pits. Yes, he did.
Oh, Lopez! He's dropped down to 5th, now 6th place from 2nd. Deary me.
Did
he made a mistake at turn 1. I guess he lost the back end. I was too busy looking at flip-flop fish going into the pits. But yeah, he's dropped down the leaderboard.
Flip-flop as well.
He's dropped down to 6th place.
Cat and Breezy are still battling it out. This is an incredible battle we're seeing here.
And look at that. Fast now has a 6-second lead. That's an almost impenetrable lead here at Austria.
Now he can just pretty much sit on cruise control and just do whatever he wants.
More or less.
Unless uses the cat and Breezy can somewhere get it around, if they can perform the undercut, maybe get within 5, maybe 4.5 seconds, they could have a far better advantage to get him on the undercut.
Perhaps. But they need to try something in order to catch up to the Renault. 6.5 seconds, that's enormous here in Austria. They really have to work together as well. They can't keep battling as much as they have. Their battling is ultimately costing them the chance for a win. But, you know, I kind of get it. You want to fight hard for position, and they're not teammates either. So
here comes Lopez on the inside of Snipperpig into
very
turn
nice.
3. Very nice move there, but I think Snipperpig might get him back on DRS. No, actually Lopez does. Oh, but Snipperpig did as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's right. He was within he was less than a second behind Shawson.
And he makes
wow, good double overtake move there by Lopez. Gained by the Racing Point in turn 3 and the McLaren in turn 4. Great job there by the Ferrari.
And you can see there the Ferrari's got exceptional pace. He's opened up half a second in only a sequence of 2 or 3 corners. It seems that either A, he's in angry mode, or B, he's showing exceptional pace. And I imagine he would be. Oh,
3-second penalty again. That's 6 seconds again against him now. So pretty much where it would stand is if Breezy has 6 seconds and no one else has penalties right behind, because I don't think anybody does. Oh, except for Honos. Probably he would move down somewhere in 8th or 9th, I would think. If my math's correct on that.
Ooh. I'm just looking at the pits because Shawson came in, the McLaren driver. He's gone on to the hards, which is...
That's a bad call there.
You kind of shot yourself in the foot there, buddy. You should have went on to the mediums. They do not wear around this place. They just don't wear.
And with the hards, they are atrocious in this track. They are completely atrocious. There's no grip. You're not going to have much runoff speed.
And Breezy! He went off the road at the second sector. His right-hand side of the car completely off the road, but he manages to control it. But he's lost a second to useless as a cat. Oh, and that back end is everywhere through turn 9 as well. Tyre temperatures are absolutely ruined as Lopez, the Ferrari driver, is now coming into the pits. Oh, he gets a 5-second penalty for speeding.
Penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
I saw him come in. I'm thinking, you're going too hot, and he's on the hard. So he shot himself in the foot twice. He shot himself in the foot twice, speeding in the pit lane and changing to the hard tyre. You should go on to the mediums. They will make it.
Yeah, you can perform the undercut on the mediums and still get him.
As
Tunic just left the session.
Hopefully he'll be able to join back.
Yeah. Well, the bad news is we can't invite him back.
No, not as spectators. No.
Because Codemasters does not know. Logical sense.
Yeah, Codemasters can't make logical decisions. So, and the problem is because of how we conduct ourselves in this league, ghosting is turned off. So. But we rate the AI pretty highly. They're at 90, which is just the beginning of master difficulty for AI. So the AI is quick, but it's not very competent, especially when it comes to blue flags, as Breezy now comes into the pit. And Snipperpig! Oh, we got a double stack for Racing Point.
It's going to be a double stack.
Lots of people are shooting themselves in the foot for some reason. Why are people shooting themselves in the foot? It makes no sense. Why?
So Breezy made the correct tire choice. Did Snipper make the correct tire choice? Yes, he did.
Yep.
Okay, so at least they made logical sense. But that's a big no-no that you should do as a team. Not a double stack unless you are within maybe a second or 1.5 seconds. But Not there, no. They're not gonna work. Look at the cars bunched up though.
Yeah.
Between I think it's 9 through 13.
I'm watching it now. I'm riding on board.
Are we going 3 wide here?
Oh, we better not.
This is close. Flip-flop
Breezy and flip-flop fish. Flip-flop has had a lot of experience here.
Lopez.
Look.
Okay.
As
so Lopez
Fast now comes in.
Oh my goodness.
Oof.
So who did? Oh, Fast came to
Fast
the
in, yeah.
So now Useless is in the lead. What is he going to fit on? He's fit on the mediums.
Yep.
So Honos is now back into is in the second place, but he has to pit soon. Useless does as well. Carter does have to pit, but he started that race with the medium tires. So Fast is going to go down to 6th place. So I think he will be able to retake the lead once Useless as a cat gets back into the pit or gets into the pits.
But interesting to note as well that Flip-Flop is currently in 10th place, and he's officially overtaken Lopez on circuit. He's in front of Lopez, and now Breezy as well. He's overtaken Breezy at turn 3.
I think that's a BS penalty there. Flip-Flop just pushed Breezy off the circuit in turn 3.
And Breezy's not having it. What a move! Gets the switch back to Flip-Flop.
Oh, he runs the grass.
Oh, did not need that. Oh, but will he send it?
No, he did not. But Breezy's not done with them yet. He's going to send it. He's on the inside. No.
Oh, contact!
Oh, my goodness! Contact! No!
Now, I wouldn't say Flip-Flop turned into him. I think Breezy understeered into the Haas. Well,
so.
At least that's what the camera showed me, at least.
I think I would agree with you on that. I think that was more of Breezy. I think that's a racing incident. Kono J-Loft just got a 3-second penalty. But no, I think that penalty with Breezy, that last penalty is a BS one.
Yeah, the game recognizes it as a track extension. It's absolute garbage, but that's Codemasters, I guess. Codemasters doing Codemaster things. What happened to Hildebeest? He's just stopped on track at the hairpin. He was trying to overtake Bombtree down the inside of turn 6, and he almost did it. But then he just literally stopped. Like, he did not move at the apex. He literally stopped at the apex. I wonder if Bombtree just turned in and he had to actually stop the car to avoid contact with him. Yeah,
probably to avoid rain damage. I mean, I've seen that kind of thing happen before too, when someone like turns in on that hairpin and they have to like immediately brake because you don't want to get rain damage.
Oh no! Yeah.
Oh! Useless as the cat got really close to Hydebeast as Hydebeast was about to go into the pits. So Honos is in the pits, Knight is in the pits, Bombtree in the pits, and Carter's now in the lead.
Yeah.
And Fast is in second place, about 1.7 seconds behind Carter. Oh, and Breezy with another penalty, 12 seconds against him now.
Yeah, it's not looking good for the Racing Point at all. Useless as a cat is going down the inside as well, and Flip-Flop Fish. Oh, and Flip-Flop's almost been spun by the Ferrari of Lopez, I think. I'm not sure if there was contact between those two, but it seemed like it from that.
Seems fine. He seems fine. He's getting a good run on Useless as a cat, though. Ooh, I think he got a little bit of a bad exit there out of turn 4 there. But, Flip-Flop Fish, though, like, from what we've seen, he's had contact with both Racing Points. With Snipper and Breezy as well.
Yeah, it seems that the Haas and the Racing Point guys are getting along really, really well, it seems. As Fast gets a new fast lap. Oh, what's happened to Kono? Kono has spun! Deary me, that's turn 8. I've seen this a couple of times as well, and he can't move. He can move now, though.
He can't.
He'll be able to move now.
Yeah, he can go. There's a Red Bull, you better get moving.
He'll be right.
There's a Red Bull coming. Yeah, John Nevis is coming behind him. Breezy has now 15 seconds. Oh,
I didn't know quite where to go, John Neves. That was very close, but he got out of the way. He got out of the way.
Monkeys and Bomb are battling out, though, for 13. Then Bomb just got by him easily. I didn't know them get DRS, though. I mean, I don't know if you're watching them, but I'm watching Bomb and Tree, and they didn't get DRS. Neither one of them. John has a 3...
Were they side by side at the detection point? Because if they are, the game will...
I got a quick glimpse, but it was when they were at the DRS. But I noticed that Fallen Monkeys just lagged a little bit there at turn 3. So hopefully that doesn't cause too much of a problem. Fast is just absolutely sensational right now, though. He's built up a gap to now 2.7 seconds. Well, from Carter, who still needs to pit, but the guy who's in penultimate second, useless as a cat, is only 6.4 seconds. And he's got Flip-Flop Fish right behind him as well.
Yeah, so it's a good recovery for the Haas driver, I have to say. This will put him in effective second.
And Flip-Flop Fish gets the move done and puts him into penultimate second place.
But Useless will get DRS. He will try and counterattack. Flip-Flop, does he defend the inside line? He does. Useless looks around the outside at turn 4. And isn't quite able to make the move stick. He'll slot back in behind the Haas driver. But yeah, that's a great recovery for Flip-Flop after what happened earlier in the race. Getting potentially spun around by the Racing Point. I think it was Snipper Pig that...
Fast has a 3-second penalty now. So Flip-Flop Fish, who does not have a penalty just yet, can try to gain within, if he can, gain within 2 seconds and see if he can get within 3 seconds of Fast. And if he does, that means he wins the race. As long as Flip-Flop does not get any penalties against him.
That's very true. But also the gap between what is third place, effectively second to first, is almost 10 seconds. As Fast has left the session!
Wait, Fast has left the session! What?
He must have been kicked. I just noticed that Astunic in the comment section on the stream said he got kicked from the session. And I just wonder if a similar thing has happened to Fast. That's definitely AI control as well. You can see that by the throttle and brake inputs. It's very sort of on-off, 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 on-off sort of thing. That's how the AI conduct themselves over a racetrack. But, dearie me, that puts Flip-Flop Fish in a very good position to take the win here. Unless Fast can find his way back. But we can't send any invites as spectators. The drivers have to actually do it.
Because Codemasters is stupid.
It's stupid, but oh well.
And Brazy has now 18 seconds against him. He just got himself another penalty. Of course, like I said, with this track, it is pretty easy to get penalties, especially with this track, because of the certain corners. So I think Breezy just needs a little bit more practice from the way it looks.
But yeah, I'm sorry, Astunic, we can't do anything here. We can't send any invites to the session from here. Fast lagged out. Righto. Yeah, you're going to have to try and get communication with one of the drivers on circuit at the moment. We, as spectators, we can't do anything. So, see you, Dougie, again. I forgot he was in the party.
I did too. Well, it said he left, and then he came back, and then
he came back, and then he left again. Honestly.
Yeah, your guy that was supposed to do the grid walk just said nothing. But anyways, so Users the Cat just now got ahead of Flip-Flop Fish, and now he's into second place, which means Users the Cat is now within 6.4 seconds. But Flip-Flop Fish is not done with him quite yet. Shostam just got ahead of Honost and Snipper Pig. So, pretty much, Flip-Flop Fish could be in line as Fast does not return. Okay,
and there's this tuning.
That's back, thankfully.
Hopefully Fast will
is going to get DRS. And he does make the move on the inside of turn 4. Makes the move stick. And gets it done.
Hopefully we'll see Fast rejoin the session soon. Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah. If Fast does come back, though, and hopefully he can maintain his pace like he did, he could be in line for winning the second preseason race in a row. Because he did win it last week.
Now coming through turns 9 and 10. We've got a battle for second, and we've got a battle for fourth as well. Breezy and Lopez currently fighting for that position. Lopez on the hard tyre. So He's got a massive deficit in terms of this battle, with the driver behind him being on a fresher, softer compound.
Sorry about that. Apparently I had an earthquake in my house.
What?
I felt my house shake. Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt on the. Sorry to be off topic about it, but yeah, I felt like I had an earthquake.
I'm sorry, but who the hell comes on the street on the Formula One scene just casually say, "I've had an earthquake"? What the fuck? Who comes onto a stream and casually says, "Oh, there's just been an earthquake"? That's nice. Bloody hell.
Well, it's California, so I'm kind of used to it.
Fucking Christ! I've never heard that in me life. Did someone casually say that? That's amazing. Deary me. Oh my God! It's all happening here at Dynamic Nights Esports. We got some great racing. Some fantastic racing, and one of the commentators has just gone through an earthquake. There we go. Oh my!
Yeah, everything's happening. But Football Fish is getting ahead of Useless is a cat again, and this time gets the move done, and he's back into second place again. And how close is that gap now?
It's only 1.6 seconds. Yeah.
Now Fast could. The thing is, Fast could now drop. He could probably drop probably within third.
And Useless sends it. Oh, you're not going to pull that up, son.
Oh my goodness!
He absolutely sent it.
He pulled a Daniel Ricciardo move there. My goodness! But it unfortunately did not work in his favor, though.
But now, that was one hell of a move. And Flip Flop is now within DRS range of Fass, and Useless is a cat. Look at this, it's a 5-way fight, more or less, for first place. It's very nice to see, although one of the drivers isn't currently in the lobby. Just behind that, we also have a battle for 6th place between Honos, Snifferpig, and Shawsome for 6th place. Very nice to see as well.
Yeah,
there we go.
Is also in the UD as well, along with Sniffer and X Breezy. I can tell from my experience, he's also probably one of the drivers that is the most consistent, kind of like Snifferpig, but maybe not towards his pace. But he's right there, I would say. He's just there.
Breezy barges by
Breezy
Fast.
Just got by Fast.
A big barge there from Breezy to try and get past the AI of BRT Fast. That's very unfortunate.
By the way, could I say that helmet from Breezy, the pink helmet, looks absolutely phenomenal, matching with that car?
Yeah, it matches really nicely, doesn't it?
It does.
That pink helmet.
It matches really good. Of course, that's also one of my. I would say the Racing Point is also one of my favorite cars from a personal point of view. But anyways, back to
Fair enough.
the battle from the lead. Uses the cat though is only down by what? So he's only down by.
Breezy's AI has just gotten a 3-second time penalty. The AI has gotten a 3-second time penalty. Flip Breezy a crash!
Vision Breezy, you crashed.
Oh, and
what?
Hono.
Oh, and safety car has been deployed.
And Honos has stopped on. Oh my goodness me!
What?
Both of them have crashed, big time.
What? Oh my goodness! What just happened?
Don't know, but that is an almighty crash.
I didn't catch what happened. I just caught the aftermath. What on earth just? Okay.
I don't know. There might be a bit of beef between these two. I hope it's just a mistake.
I hope so
from
too.
someone's part.
I hope so too.
Maybe a dead controller or something, because the controllers do that. What they do when the controller dies, it does the last thing that you're telling it to.
I know Breezy drives that controller. I saw you left the session.
I'm hoping that's what it is. And
I'm hoping so too.
Honos in the Alfa Romeo, I just know. I flicked back to him just before the safety car came out. He full-on stopped in the middle of the road when the safety car came out. When the problems came up that there was a safety car, and Snipperpick just drove into the back of him, completely destroying his front wing as well.
Yeah, and he also had a 10. Looks like he had a stop and go penalty as well.
Yeah,
5. He's serving it right now.
Yeah, and he's now coming out.
That was very bizarre. What just happened? I didn't see exactly what happened. I just saw them just fly off out of turn 3.
No, the first thing I saw was that they both retired, and then, yeah, just, my God.
That was, I don't know if, like, there was a problem. I don't know what exactly happened, but that was extremely bizarre.
Oh my goodness me. I mean, the two drivers got into a bit of a scuffle previously in the race, but
I mean, yeah, as we all know.
Yeah, and then that happened at turn 3.
Yeah, I mean, Flip Flop Fish did have a scuffle with the Racing Points for a little bit of the race, but I don't know. I'm kind of speechless.
It'll be interesting to see how the stewards look at this. I mean, I know it's a non-championship event, but
yeah,
in this league we do put ourselves highly in terms of drivers conducting themselves correctly on a racetrack, regardless of what race it is.
Yeah.
If there is indeed a purpose, like, took him out on purpose, I hope and pray. But yeah, it's very looked down upon in this league to purposely take someone out.
Yeah, well, we'll take a look at it maybe later. Maybe the drivers will have some footage for us. But anyways, back to what's going on. So Hono stayed out. He did not pit, but Carter is on 6th lap soft tire, but uses Cat and Fast. I don't know if he's... His AI...
No, it's still AI. Fallen Monkeys has now dropped out of the session. The 14th place driver.
And John Nevis just got a 10-second penalty for exceeding track limits.
Yeah, the game doesn't like it when you track extend or corner cut under safety car. The game pretty much dishes out instant penalties for that sort of stuff. Yeah, wow. It's all happening here at the Red Bull Ring, which it typically does at the Red Bull Ring. It's pretty chaotic here. Banana Cake Pie has just joined the stream. What have I missed? Mate, what have you missed?
What have you missed?
No, I think you might have missed a fair amount. A fair amount. It's all happening. It's all happening at once. Dear me. Oh, this is Masters Championship all over again. Masters last night. Pacific Series. It was absolute madness at Abu Dhabi. It was insanity at Abu Dhabi. Yeah, it really was. It was almost like British touring cars, if you put that sort of image in your head with Formula 1 cars. There was biffing and barging, there was some good racing here and there, there was a lot of great scraps as well. At a racetrack that in real life generates, honestly, the worst racing in real life Formula 1. I do not like Abu Dhabi in the slightest. I think it's a gazillion-dollar piece of crap, more or less, in the middle of the Middle East in Abu Dhabi. Honestly, you'd think after spending so much money on a racetrack, it would be this magnificent racing facility, but no, it's just
a disgusting track.
It seems they spent all that money on the hotel that's supposed to be the highlight of the circuit, I think, and just the circuit was an add-on. It seems like that.
Okay, so safety car is in this lap. So the safety car is in this lap, so the drivers will have to follow the safety car line.
Oh, okay. I'm guessing Honos has not led
Someone just got wing damage.
Yeah, because
someone in the midfield, Hildebeest, excuse me.
Oh my goodness gracious me! That is a car park. Look at that! That is enormous. And Useless as a Cat and Honos have just pulled away from the field. And Carter, what is this? Oh, it's fast. It's fast. What, the fast? AI.
Oh, it's fast as AI.
That makes a bit of sense. That's why the field didn't pull away. It's because the whole field got held. Oh, we have a car park at turn 3. Deary me. It's all happening at once.
This is interesting.
Oh my word.
It seems like any race that you do, Schmeg, it gets really interesting. I'm just gonna throw that out.
Not all of them. If I do a race at Singapore, it tends to be pretty boring, but for some reason, it's all happening at once. Oh, we got some side-by-side action here. The Mercedes down the inside of the Haas. There's a bit of contact. Haas is pushed wide onto the gravel, and the Red Bull loses it off. Oh, and the Williams has lost it.
X-Bomb and John are in the wall.
Oh, and you see me flying.
Just retired.
Did he voluntarily retire? He did. Did he?
He did?
Yeah.
No. That's a big no-no there. You cannot retire in the middle of the track.
No, especially with ghosting turned off. You do not retire from the session.
Before the pits.
If you do retire, please retire in the pit lane. Do not do it on circuit because the AI is stupid and it also has a chance of bringing out a safety car. We don't want that, you know.
Correct.
It changes the entire scope of a race when you do something like that.
And also the biggest thing too is also not to reset on track as well.
That's another big no-no.
Yet. I know we haven't seen it yet, but I'm saying that's something we cannot have either. X-Bomb is it's still continuing on with the wing damage he suffered from the crash between who was it again? It was You See Me Flying and John? Yeah. You See Me Flying and John.
Ooh.
And ISO Nye just got past Shawsome, and he is up into 6th place.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
This is more interesting than what we had last week, that's for sure.
Now, let's see, what are the top 3 doing? Useless as a Cat is pulling away, as you'd expect, on the fresh, soft compound tyre. Carter in P2 with Honos in P3. Sector 1 yellow flags, that's Darkness, I think. It is. He's had a moment at turn 1. He gets back onto the circuit safely. He rejoins in 12th place. Now, I believe you use the same point system as the Masters and Diamonds Championship, where everyone scores points, if I'm not mistaken. So, drivers have to try and get that sort of mentality into their head, that you have to keep going and try and finish the race, because if you do, you will score points.
Right.
It's a very nice point system as well. It's thrown up some pretty nice.
Even if you get 10th, I mean, it's still a valuable point regardless. If you get 1 point if you finish 10th, well, it may not be much, but it can be. Well, it can be valuable.
Well, in this championship, if you finish 10th, you get 12 points. Like it goes all the way down to 20th. So 1 point for 20th, 2 points for 19th. First place gets 42.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. So it's a different point system than it is.
I think so. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to ask the admins to see whether or not if you will use the actual point system or the modified system that we use in some of the other championships, where everyone scores points if you finish.
Could I also note something? That Lopez has now moved himself up into 3rd place. After having himself a horrible race in a little while ago, has now moved himself up into the podium spot.
He's looking very, very nice here to take 2nd place on those fresh mediums. As Tunic, after missing out for so long, he's now into the top 10. Fighting back to the top 10 is the Toro Rosso driver. Got the 2 McLarens battling each other, Shortsome and Kono. Now these aren't the official teams, are they?
No, it's not. For a preseason test, we did the same thing last week. We announced that we can just have them do whatever cars they desire for this preseason race, and last week as well, same thing. We might be or excuse me, we might be changing that probably next week because we have another preseason test after that, and then by the time close to the end of the month comes, we will get started with the official season. But it will probably have to be somewhere between 8 to 10 races because of F1 2020 coming up very soon.
Right, so I just got confirmation from the admins of this championship. Yes, we're using the modified points table, so everyone who finishes will score something.
Yeah. Okay.
That way, even if you have a bad race, you still have something to fight for. And also because of this point system, everyone has the opportunity to get the fastest lap point. It's not just the top 10. Everyone has a chance to get fastest lap. So it opens up a slightly different dynamic, that's for certain. And it does toss up some pretty nice championships as well. And it just keeps people, you know, keep them going, stop them from retiring from the race. Still, just try and keep going, try and finish, and you will get something. You will always get something.
Yeah. I mean, at least it's value. At least you can get something. Something's better than nothing. That's for sure. So we're down to the last 3 laps of the race, and Useless as a Cat is leading the way with Lopez now into second place, gained by Carter. Well, I mean, you kind of expect it because Carter is on 13-lap soft tires.
Yeah.
So those tires are quickly starting to fall off now.
As Lopez gets 3 seconds.
As Lopez gets a 3-second penalty. Does Carter have a penalty though? That's what
I don't know. You could check the race director for each driver.
I'm looking right now. Yeah, he does. So it would not change. Onos does as well. Shawsome now has a penalty. So now we're down to 2 laps to go. Methuselah's the Cat leading the way. So, what has been your thoughts though about this second preseason test so far?
It's been incredibly competitive for a preseason race as Honos and Carter are now going side by side out of turn 3. These dudes are fighting for the final podium position, which complements my point quite nicely. It's been incredibly competitive here. It's a non-championship race. It only gives us and the other drivers a good idea of relative pace to each other. But yeah, these guys are really fighting hard, which is good to see, and some really nice battles. So it's looking like a pretty good championship, and it seems drivers like Fass and Flip Flop Fish are definitely some of the tough runners for the championship. We'll have to wait and see what some of the other drivers do in their competitiveness in a actual proper race. But yeah, it's been fantastic to watch.
Oh yeah, it has been. As Useless as a Cat is now starting his final lap and going another 2.7 miles around this Spielberg circuit here in Austria. But pretty much we're working to get 2 tiers. We'll have to figure out what to do for the second tier in terms of what days. But I think we got a good idea of what we want to do for the first tier. But so far, I think I've got a little bit of a good idea of who's good, like really good, to be in the tier 1 and who may need a little work. But now, if there's like a thing where a driver, well, let's say has like something up in the top tier and they have to leave, and maybe let's say someone from second tier has been doing really good, we could probably promote them up if they've been doing really good in the second tier. And Useless the Cat is coming around the final turn now, and he will cross the line to win the Austrian Grand Prix for the second preseason race for Dynamic Knights America Series. Lopez will finish in second, and Onos finishes in third, but will be bumped down because of penalties.
Yep.
Snifferpig moves up to 4th place now. ISRL Knight in 6th. BRT Fast, who I think should have won this race, but got out because of AI, is in 7th. Shawsome in 8th. Kono J Loft in 9th.
RT Darkness jumps up to 9th because of penalties.
Yeah,
wow.
Darkness did. As Tunic and Kono J Loft in 10th. ISO as Tunic in 11th. Hyde Beast in 12th. John Nevis, well, I was gonna say 13th, but now he's 14th. Fallen Monkeys takes over 13th. And X-Bomb finishes 15th.
And around the final corner he comes, and that will round. Excuse me. That will round out the second preseason test in this American series.
It was quite something. I'm gonna say it was a great race, though. It was great. Great battles. Everyone seemed to be really even in this track, and you kind of expect it for a track like Austria. Qualifying, we had the top 10 pretty much run 104s, which was really good sign to see. And pretty much everyone seemed really even in terms of the battling going on. Yes, we had incidents, but overall, I thought it was a really good race.
Yeah, I think so too. It was great to see everyone's sort of competitive nature towards each other, that they're willing to fight hard for their position. It'll be good to see how it pans out in the proper championship. What a race.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so let's round off one more time. Uses the Cat is your winner. Lopez finishes in second. Carter in third. Still Big in fourth. Onos in fifth. ISRL Knight in sixth. Fast in seventh. Shawson in eighth. Darkness in ninth. Kono J. Lofts in 10th. Stunik in 11th. Hypebeast 12th. Fallen Monkeys 13th. 14th is X-Bomb. John Neves 15th. And then the cars that retired. UC Me Fine, X Breezy, Flip Flop Fish, and Swarner.
Wow. So, if this is what preseason testing is going to be like, I wonder how the actual championship is going to go down. That's going to be something else, I think.
I think so. So I think we can pretty much conclude this stream here. Yeah? Yeah. Alright, so thank you very much for watching this race. And we will see you next week for the final preseason race. We're not sure where it's going to be just quite yet, but it will be next Friday, same time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Tune in next week and on the Dynamic Nights Esports channel. Have a great rest of your night.